Hey everybody, and welcome to Rene's Spiritual Ways. In today's video, I am going to be talking about how to start a spiritual practice and where to begin. So let's begin with the textbook definition of what spirituality is. A spiritual practice is the performance of actions and activities for the purpose of inducing spiritual experience and cultivating spiritual development, and ultimately finding a spiritual path that you find fulfilling to your spiritual needs. So for those of you who are seeking out a spiritual path and you're at the beginning, it can be a bit overwhelming because there are so many different spiritual practices out there. And how I look at it is spirituality is not a one-size-fits-all. You have to read up and investigate different ones to find out what practices best fits your spiritual needs. And it should really be a comfortable fit. I don't believe in anybody practicing any type of spiritual practice or religion that just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel, it doesn't sit in your soul correctly. It doesn't feel like home. I know that many of us grow up in households that practiced, either Catholicism, Judaism, Muslim, Jehovah's Witness. The list goes on and on as to how many religious practices there are out there. And I know from talking with people that a lot of them never felt comfortable with practicing that, or it just didn't resonate or make sense or click to them. And that's why they take a step out and they start looking into other religious practices and other spiritual practices. And eventually they do find the path that best suits them and that fulfills them in their soul. And that's great. That's what the ultimate goal of Rene's Spiritual Ways is all about. Sometimes you will find yourself when you start to investigate about other spiritual practices that intrigue you, that some part of them, maybe not the entire practice, but there may be a piece of that practice that resonates with you and truly makes sense. And that's okay too, because that's how I do my spiritual practice. I've been on this road for a really long time, and I definitely don't stick to one. I kind of stick to all that feel right. And other seekers out there, you're going to find that one path that 100% fits the mold of exactly what you were looking for. It feels comfortable in your soul, and that's the spiritual path that you're on your entire life, and that's fine too. There are no rules when it comes to finding your spiritual path. It is the one subject that I truly love learning about, and I get excited when I come across something new. And if you just, like, for instance, look at all the god and the goddesses in Greek mythology and Celtic mythology and Druid mythology and Scottish mythology and Egyptian mythology. I mean, the list goes on. And I love discovering, a new god or a new goddess when I want to apply them to, a ritual or a spell that I might be doing, or some type of power that I'm going to call in for a specific task that I need help with. And seriously, like, knowledge is endless, and that's one thing I absolutely love about the freedom of the spiritual path, because you can always learn something new that's totally cool usually. Along my path of seeking out spiritual practices that best fulfill me, I have met so many amazing people, and just soul tribe, that connection, and it's been a great journey. I actually started out on the Native American Indian path. One, because there is a family lineage, and two, I always felt connected and a calling towards the connection to nature, and knew at a very young age that there was a very deep connection to all of it. I also was drawn and exposed to the practice of witchcraft, and seeing the connection between the two with honoring the four directions and respecting all living creatures upon Mother Earth. And seriously, every spiritual practice talks about compassion and the respect for all living things. So this, just felt like home for me. And still does, practicing, American Indian traditions and Wiccan and paganism and all of that definitely feels good. But I like a lot of aspects with the chanting of Buddhism. And I also like the hoodoo, voodoo, and a bunch of other things that I hope to, over the course of 2021, I want to bring you information about different spiritual practices, and maybe perhaps to help you discover your path or expand your spiritual path. So I would hope to be like a wingman for you guys. So let's see what the year ahead has in store for us. And if there is a spiritual practice that you may be interested in, please drop a comment. Sky's the limit. There are so many different spiritual rabbit holes that we can totally go down, which I will completely enjoy bringing you guys any and all information that I possibly can. Also, keep in mind that once I hit 100 subscribers, I will be giving away a free tarot card reading. So if you could help me get to that, and maybe you could actually be the winner, that would be fabulous too. And I hope to have a fun deep dive into some spiritualism, and let's see where the path goes, guys. All right. Thank you for watching, liking, and sharing my videos and subscribing. Blessed be everybody. Bye.